Hey everybody, Jam Creates here. Just wanted to hit a quick video. I want to do something fun. My last video was kind of like somber a little bit. I mean, I tried to keep it light, but got that off my chest. Now I want to do something a little different. I just wanted to talk to you. I mean, ostensibly when I created this channel, it was meant to be like, you know, yeah, some comic book reviews and stuff like that and whatever, but it was also supposed to be a channel about my journey getting back into art. And in that regard, I just wanted to do a little video to talk about how really, truly amazing it is that we've got, in the world that we live in now, we've got access to so much that we never had access to before. I mean, yeah, when I was a kid, I had How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. And honestly, I still look at that book, even now. Like, now that I got back into drawing, that was one of the first things I did, was pull that book out of, you know, the box it was in and decided to start looking at that again. But there's so many, like, you go on YouTube, there's 1,000,001 tutorials out there. There's so many different, like, ways that you can learn different things about art and to improve your artwork, and it really is fantastic. I mean, there's literally like living legends that you can find art tips from. I mean, Todd McFarlane has a whole series of art tips, and honestly, I credit a combination actually of McFarlane and Jim Lee, because Jim Lee has videos too, teaching and explaining. The Jim Lee ones are sometimes a little hard to hear because most of those he did at conventions, so sometimes they can be a little tough to hear. The audio is not always the greatest, but it's still worth watching if you want to learn from one of the best. And you know, it's funny because I credit the two of them. I credit the McFarlane videos and the Jim Lee videos for helping me draw hands better than I ever have. Hands are hard. I mean, everybody knows that. Everybody who draws knows the hands are hard. To draw good-looking hands is very difficult. But I feel like now I have... Listen, they don't always come out perfect, don't get me wrong. But I feel like I have the tools now, thanks to those videos, to construct pretty good-looking hands, you know, almost all the time. You know, I don't always get there. I mean, you know, it's still a work in progress. But if you look at some of my artwork, and you can go to my Twitter, there's some on there. You can go to my my website or my DeviantArt. I'm at Jam Creates on DeviantArt, or wherever. I mean, you can go to my Instagram. I'm at Jam_Creates on Instagram. Some of my videos, I've sprinkled some of my art throughout. So you can always just check out some of my stuff, and you can see how, like, you know, I can draw pretty good hands now. I need to work at it more. I need to draw probably a few thousand more hands before I really have it down. But the improvement is there, and that's what's really cool. When you see yourself improving, that's awesome. There's no better feeling than seeing yourself improve. And one of the nice things about drawing is that your improvement is visible. It's right there in front of you. You can see it in the artwork. You know, it's much the same way as like you know, an Olympic sprinter would see improvement in their sprint because they time. It's a concrete thing. Did I run this sprint faster than I ran it yesterday? If I did, then I'm improving. You know, so that's what I'm saying. Like, there's concrete when you're talking about art. It's cool because it's a concrete improvement that you can see. So that's really nice, honestly, because you don't get that in everything else. But I say and but a lot, I know. I will, whatever. I might try to improve on it. I might not. I don't know. Depends on how I feel. I have seen, like I said, improvement in how I draw my hands. Again, they're not perfect, but I've definitely seen improvement. I've also looked at tutorials and things about drawing noses, and I've improved on how I can draw a nose. My female faces now are they're light years beyond what my female faces were when I last was drawing consistently. Part of that is because when I was drawing consistently as a kid, I pretty much mostly drew men because I was drawing superheroes and pro wrestlers and stuff like that. But, I made a concerted effort to try to learn to draw females because, I want to be able to draw everything. So, I'm learning, I'm getting better. I do certainly still need work on my female bodies. I've drawn some that have looked pretty good. I've drawn some that have looked atrocious, and some that are just kind of in between. My male figures have definitely gotten better, and that's again through watching videos and also, sharing my work on Twitter and getting feedback from professional artists who've said, like, maybe you should try this, you should try that, whatever. My point is, if you're trying to do what I'm trying to do, and that is to improve and dive back into something that you used to love and that you fell away from just because of life, or if you're just a first timer who, you haven't been beaten down by life yet and you've got high hopes and you want to learn, more power to you. I hope you do. It's amazing the amount of tools that are out there to help you learn. It really is incredible the amount of professionals who've been in the business for years and years and years who are willing to help with like any aspect of creating a comic book. If you want to learn about writing comics, there's all sorts of people out there who've put stuff about writing comics. Guys like Chuck Dixon. Chuck Dixon's a legend, dude. And that dude has given, dissertations basically on how to write a comic book. There's books. I had a book. I posted a photo of it. I don't think I was going to make a video about the book, and I don't think I did. I reread it just recently, a little while ago, and it's how to write comics by Denny O'Neil. Another guy who's like a living legend. These guys are legendary, and they're giving you tips on how to write comic books, and how to draw comic books. There's all sorts of stuff out there to learn how to draw things, and there's more stuff coming. I think it's a crowdfunding campaign, but I'm pretty sure Frank Cho has a how to draw women book, which is, if you know Frank Cho's art, that's what he's known for. So, that would be something really great. I should probably pick that up, honestly. But there's so many different things. If you want to draw different styles, there's things to help you with that. There's just all sorts of stuff out there, like videos on YouTube, countless videos. And what's cool is they all approach it in different ways, and it really can help you learn a lot. I learned a lot of stuff about looking at comic books and how the overall page is done, and other techniques as well, from watching Ethan Van Sciver's Brutally Honest portfolio reviews. Those videos, honestly, he could charge for those videos. They're like an art class all unto themselves. Like, the dude just goes into, he starts out, ostensibly, he's just going to tell you, he's going to look at someone's portfolio and he's going to pick it apart. And he's going to say what could be better, what's good, what's bad, whatever. And you think well, that's good for the guy who drew it, but what about everybody else? No, dude, if you watch those videos, you will learn so much. He'll break out and do redraws of things to help you understand, to explain how things work, what would be better, what's more dynamic, how panels could be laid out better. Just so many different perspective. He's got at least 2 videos on perspective. And every time you're watching his portfolio reviews, perspective comes up every time. And now I know Art T-Bear has done portfolio reviews too. All those things are helpful, dude. Watching other people's work get critiqued can help you, because you can start to look at things differently. And when you're planning out your drawing, you can start to think to yourself, what would these guys say if I drew this like this? What would they say? What would they think? You start to hear it in your head. You go, no, he would say this is a boring shot. You need something more interesting. You can really start to just put it together yourself. And that's fantastic. And then just recently, Doug TenNapel, the creator of Earthworm Jim, who's got his Bigfoot Bill Indiegogo It's still in demand, I believe, at this point. He raised a ton of money on that. He did a whole series of videos. He's done tons of like inking videos and drawing videos and stuff like that, but he did a whole series of videos because he writes his own books as well. He did a whole series of videos of how he structures his story, the way he goes about getting the structure for his story, the way he goes about laying the story on top of the structure, and the way he gets into the detail, like, and then gets into the script. He did a whole series of videos about that. And honestly, they're great videos. They really will teach you a lot. And even if you know some of it, you know, they always, what's that old saying? Like, the most dangerous person is somebody with a little bit of knowledge or something along, I don't know. I totally butchered that, I'm sure. But it's the truth. Like, you feel like you know things, but you don't know everything. But you can feel like you know everything just because you know a little about something. When you see these things, some of it might seem kind of obvious to you, but then as you watch it go on, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I could do this, and this could definitely help my writing. You know, and if you're somebody like me who, you know, I like to write and I like to draw, and so this is, you know, my ultimate goal is to write and draw and just be a one-man show for my own stuff. And eventually I would love to, you know, collaborate with people on things, you know, either writing and having someone else draw, or drawing and have someone else write, whatever, you know, like just different stuff. You know, I would love to get involved in that stuff. And again, this is, you know, I need to expand out, and I need to practice. I need to just keep on practicing to keep up in my game and up in my skills to where I can get there. I'm gonna do it. I'm getting there. I'm working hard. You know, I recognize holes in my game for sure, and I'm gonna continue to try to address them. And I'm doing it with the help of really no formal training, because I don't have any formal training. The closest thing to formal art training I would say that I have came from my grandfather, who was a unbelievably incredible artist. My grandfather was really, truly an amazing artist, and he could do all sorts of different things. He could do realistic portraits, he could do cartoony stuff, like he really could do all sorts of stuff. I mean, like anything, really. Maybe one day I'll tell the story about him and how he almost wound up working for Walt Disney. Not the company, but the man. So I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'll talk about that one day. I'm gonna wrap this video up soon though, so I'm not gonna get into it now. But my point is that there's so many resources out there, and you may not enjoy all of them. Some of them might speak to you more than others, and that's the thing, everyone learns differently. So, you know, you might want written tutorials, those are out there. You might want videos, those are out there. You know, there's so many different things, and honestly, I would say just find the stuff that speaks to you and roll with it. Like, keep rolling with it. I've mentioned this before, and I'll bring it up again here because we're getting to the end of this video. I would love one day to do not a drawn and quartered and not a portfolio review, but something more like an instructional video, I guess you would call it, where it would be a live stream. And this is a nerve-wracking thing for me to do this, but I think it would be really fun to do, and I think it would be cool to do. Picking a character, kind of like they do on Drawn and Quartered, maybe picking a character, or picking picking a character, or picking a subject, you know, a topic of some sort, whatever it might be. And then I will draw it live on the stream with my limited skills, and I'll have on the screen, ideally the way it would work is it would be I would draw it, and I would have on the live stream with me an other artist, or maybe several other artists who are, you know, obviously more skilled and more experienced than I am, and who can look at what I'm doing and then offer, critique, yes, but I would call it more like instruction than I would critique. Like, I'm not looking for a grade per se. I'm looking for, like, it's not going to be I'm going to draw a finished product and then they're going to look at it and go, yeah, that's good, or no, that's not good. No, what it's going to be is they're going to watch my process as I'm drawing, and as I'm drawing, they will be live while I'm doing it, giving me instruction, giving me like hints on how to do, different stuff. Like, this is how you should do this. You should change that. You should maybe try this or try that. Like, as it's happening. And my goal in that is that not only will it, of course, help myself, my own artwork to improve, because I'm getting live instruction from these pros, and live feedback and everything, but to also, for everyone who's watching, everyone who's watching the stream live, or maybe watching it later, when it's just a video, would be able to draw along with the video and draw along with me. And as I'm getting the feedback and the instruction on how to better what I'm doing as I'm doing it, they could be doing it at home along with me, and they would be getting the same instruction also. It's just a thought. It's something I think would really be kind of fun, and I think it would be cool to do, and you could get different artists on, and you could even have, if they feel like drawing along as well, they could do it too, so you could see how they're doing it, and then they could explain to me, like, maybe you should do this, and blah, 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 and we could try, and I'll implement it right then and there, and try to fix it, and do what they say, and, I'm more than willing to learn. So I think it would be fun. I think it would be fun for the audience. I think it would be fun for me. I think it would be fun for the pros to be giving that live feedback and that live instruction. I think it could be fun. I just need to, pick like a date and time kind of thing. Maybe pick a specific day of the week and just do it that same day. And I need, of course, to actually get in touch with pros who would be willing to do that. So I don't know. We'll see. I'll try to make it happen someday. If you think it's a good idea, let me know, please. Definitely. If you think it's a good idea, tell me in the comments, like this video, subscribe to the channel, because if I make it happen, you don't want to miss it. So ring that bell and you won't miss any videos. And if you want to see that happen, if you'd like to see that kind of thing happen, what I would suggest is when I post a new video, I always share it on Twitter. So you can either just retweet my tweet about the video, or you could just share the video on Twitter yourself and tag some of the pros that you might like to see participate in that tweet. Like, at somebody with the link to this video and say, hey, listen to, you could tell them to skip to, whatever point it is in the video if you want. That's fine. I don't mind. And say, what do you think? Would you want to do that with this guy? Would you want to, we think it would be cool. We'd like to see it. Why don't you make it happen? If you want to do that, help me out. Put it out there to people and see if anyone gets back to me. Like, that'd be sweet. Tag me in it. Like, tweet it, share the video, tag me. I'm at jam_creates. Tag me in the tweet. You can feel free to at me on Twitter and at the pro that you want and say, hey, get together, let's do this. I think it would be cool. I think it would be fun. So let me know what you think. Tell me in the comments if you think it's a good idea. If you don't, you can tell me that in the comments too. And then, if you want to see it happen, help me out. Let's make it happen, okay? If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Minds. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me everywhere. Just don't follow me while I'm driving around, because that's just weird. That's it. And I will talk to you soon. Peace out, folks.